My household is very funny because it's filled with actors and we all love to be together, and then suddenly you'll see, everybody just goes off into their own spaces and wants to be alone. But that just comes naturally. I think for actors, it's important to spend time with yourself and get to know yourself. And for me, and Aishwarya and I have discussed this, I always looked upon Guru as a romantic film. I never looked upon it as a biopic. I've always looked upon it as a romantic film. It's actually a beautiful, and that's just the genius of somebody like Mani, who just knows how to bring a realism into a situation. Aaradhya was born. A lot of my film choices have become very encompassing of her.
Spoke about creating those beautiful romantic moments. I think this film has it too.
You've sacrificed everything for somebody else, and they've not regarded that for you. So now start living your own life. So he takes him on this journey to fulfill, and it's the small things that matter to him. I mean, something like you said, biryani.
Just she coming out and giving
I want to eat biryani. I want to ride a motorcycle.
Hello everybody, I'm Ratnam and welcome to Sim Speak Easy. My guest today has entertained us for almost 25 years now. He's done things his own way, remained secure, done so many varied films, and he continues to entertain us. I'm talking about Mr. Abhishek Bachchan. Thank you for doing this, Abhishek.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
25 years in this industry, and you continue to do varied work and you continue to stay relevant. Do you remember the first shoot and the memories of your first film?
Yes, absolutely.
And I would love to hear some of those anecdotes.
Oh, there are too many. How long is your show?
Hopefully, I have a lot of more questions. So, whatever the best.
Obviously, I think the most memorable will obviously be when, JP Saab signed me for the film. Although at that point of time, it was meant to be a different film. JP Saab actually signed me for a film called Aakhri Mughal, which never got made. Instead, he made Refugee. But obviously, when he signed me, that was a hugely profound moment in my journey as an actor. Obviously, the start of anything new is always very, very memorable. I'll never forget that. And then obviously at the Mahurat of it, because that's when it actually dawned on me that, okay, this is actually happening. And then obviously once you start shooting, and then the premiere, and then, the other journeys that you've been on after that. So I think every actor is going to remember their first film with a lot of fondness.
I think you also managed to sort of create your identity. Not manage, you have, and at that time successfully. You did, and you continue to create your own identity, right? And I think was that the most challenging part, or were there others in this journey of yours? Because, not everybody believes in you, but you had self-belief and you had a gut instinct that worked for you.
I don't think that's difficult. To make your own identity there's no rocket science. You are who you are. I'm an actor. I'm going to look in that particular way. I'm going to act in a particular way. There are certain mannerisms which come naturally to me, and that's what's going to be there. So that is your identity in itself. I don't see that being a big challenge. I think to keep evolving, to keep growing, and hopefully therein keep improving, I think that is a decision you need to make, and something that you need to pursue. You need to pursue excellence. I wouldn't say perfection, because our job is imperfect.
Sure.
You're portraying imperfect people. So perfection is never something that you should aspire to achieve in cinema, I believe. But excellence as in, have I done the best that I could possibly do with the opportunity that was given to me?
What are the changes you observed? Because, you're also self-aware. Over the years as an actor that you observed in this evolution. And how did that impact your script sense? Because obviously what you chose back then is very different from what you choose to do today.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from a very business-oriented perspective, and you're going to be very analytical about it, each tastes change Friday to Friday, actually, in our industry. You have to try and, keep pace with that. God bless you. And, I mean, now, looking back 25 years, the kind of films that people were making and wanted to see in the early 2000s, as opposed to what they're willing to see today, is different. as it should be. Because when I started in 2000, 25 years before that, which was 1975, they were making a different kind of film.
Sure.
Which might not be relevant. Some of the greats are great because they remain to be relevant. But at that point, be it pacing, be it style, be it craft, everything changes. Today's generation is a lot faster than what it was 25 years ago. So you have to involve that not just in the craft of filmmaking, but also in your performance. You're dealing with an audience which largely has an attention span of 30 seconds. 30 seconds and flip, next reel, The challenge is, how can I captivate them for 3 hours? It's a huge challenge. It's a challenge worth taking because it is possible. They will engage with you if you are able to hold their attention. For that, you have to keep evolving, you have to keep changing, you have to keep bettering yourself, you have to keep making yourself watchable to that extent. So a lot has changed, as it should, and it will continue to.
You put out this promotional post on Instagram for Kaalidhar Laapata that said, मैं एक बार लापता होना चाहता हूँ, भीड़ में खुद को फिर से पाना चाहता हूँ. How do these lines resonate with you, Abhishek? And were there phases in your life that you felt?
Never.
Okay. That's pretty much the answer. Never. So you never thought of finding yourself?
No, I'm a people person.
Okay.
I have my moments where I need my solitude, and I think solitude is very, very important and essential for an actor.
Okay.
But not for too long a time. After a while, I need somebody to talk to and hang out with. So no. It's funny. My household is very funny because it's filled with actors, and we all love to be together. And then suddenly everybody just goes off into their own spaces and wants to be alone. But that just comes naturally. I think for actors, it's important to spend time with yourself. And get to know yourself, because that's possibly the one person that you don't know at all, or least, because you're always playing somebody else, you're playing another character, so you know those characters better. Self-discovery is something that we very rarely do. So it's essential, but I would never want to like if it's like, oh, go off onto a trip by myself and all that, I could never do.
No self-discoveries that way.
No, वो तो होते रहता है, but that you through your work you can do that. But I'm not somebody who likes to be a loner. I'm not like that. No.
Fair enough. Kaalidhar Laapata teaches, I've seen the film, so I think there are a lot of little lessons that you learn from it, living in the moment. There's hope, there is sadness, there is a sense of loss, everything. So many little life lessons. One you said you don't resonate with, but what have you learned while you were shooting for a film like this? And also the preparation for the character, Abhishek, because you have obviously internalized it. Were there certain specific tools that you
every actor has their own unique tools. You do that. What did I learn? I think the greatest learning for me during the making of this film, we shot this film extensively in and around Bhopal, which is my Nani. And my greatest learning was, you will never, ever, ever put on weight when your grandmother feeds you with love.
I love that.
Every night I used to pack up. My Nani, by the grace of God, 95.
Wow.
Still there. Go back. Kosha Mangsho every night. Mach and chhol. It's all set. It's made with love. It's fed with love. You'll never put on weight.
True bomb. But that must be happening when your mom also must be sort of giving you those delectable Bengali dishes.
My Nani is the cook. My mom is not a cook.
Yes, that's Nani wins.
Yeah. And Nani, I'm the grandkid, so it's a big moment whenever we're around. She lives in Bhopal, so my Masis and her are always together. So whenever I'm there, it's a lot of fun. You get spoiled, so it's nice. So whenever your Nani feeds you with love, you'll never put on weight. It's my greatest learning.
I love that. Everybody, please listen in. Be Happy, Ludo, now this film. I see you trying to make an effort in understanding children better and having that beautiful relationship with children, You, of course, also share a wonderful relationship with your daughter. When you're doing films like this, does that experience help? When you're interacting with kids, we always try to...
I've never looked upon it like that, consciously,
Mm-hmm.
but... I've also noticed the same thing, that ever since Aaradhya was born, a lot of my film choices have become very encompassing of her. So if you see from, I mean, not for the right reasons in Breathe, but, you know, in Breathe, be it Ludo, Bob Biswas, you know, then you come to the I Want to Talk, Be Happy,
everywhere.
Kaalidhar. There's been this recurring theme of a kid. And that, I'm guessing it could be because I'm a father today. So maybe that emotion resonates with me. Or maybe that relationship just feels that much more visceral at that point of time. Possibly. So yeah, I do see a parallel over there. I'm not so sure, but I kind of figured out that, yeah, hey, maybe this is just the phase of life I'm going through.
Actors always talk about creating some films that can be a part of your legacy, right? You leave behind. Because you mentioned Aaradhya, I want to know, because you have such beautiful films that even children can watch, right? What were a few things you would suggest if one day she comes and tells you, okay, give me a few suggestions from your body of work. What would you pick for her?
Suggestions for what?
From your filmography.
Oh, what to watch?
Yeah. And why, maybe?
No, I'm not one of those. I'm not somebody who's going to force her to sit down and see my film.
No, but if she comes and asks...
And I would turn around and say, I'm not going to tell you. You tell me. You choose on your own on what appeals to you, and you come tell me what you liked about it. I'd like to know her unfiltered, impressioned point of view on my work. See, the minute I tell you, you know, go see Guru.
I was going to say
right. You'll say, okay, you'll either really like it because, or you won't like it because I would have built it up so much.
Yeah.
I'd rather you go in without any expectations and make your own opinion of it.
You mentioned Guru, so then now I might as well get into it a little bit. It's obviously one of my favorite films of yours. But I also love the empathy with which you approach the character. He is also flawed, you know.
Yes.
And also the beautiful relationship that it shows between you and your wife, with, you know, you and Aishwarya, bringing that beautiful relationship out. You know, flawed yet supporting each other when you need it. How was those moments for you to recreate and when you were understanding?
That's just the genius of Mani Ratnam. And for me, and Aishwarya and I have discussed this separately, I always looked upon Guru as a romantic film.
I
never looked upon it as a biopic. I've always looked upon it as a romantic film. It's actually a beautiful, and that's just the genius of somebody like Mani, who just knows how to bring a realism into a situation. You know, the several moments between husband and wife, which he's just such a master, and it's just such a pleasure and an honor to get to work with him. And just the way he does and portrays emotions makes it so real, because that's actually what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's never as dramatic as we make it in cinema. It's actually always very real and normal. And he brings the beauty and the drama into that normalcy.
And because you spoke about creating those beautiful romantic moments, I think this film has it too. You know, I love those moments with Nimrat. I feel like such earnest actors both of you are. And that romance is so subtle in the beginning. It's also heartbreaking in moments, you know. Very difficult to sort of create that so authentically. Tell me about that. And of course, you were reuniting with her after Dasvi, and
it was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, the film, what I loved about Madhumita, our director, is that she told such profound things, and like I said, in such a casual, effortless manner. All right. I discussed this previously on an interview that if you see a lot of the issues she is addressing are, sadly, and I hate to say it and don't misunderstand me, but they're very affluent problems. You know, this is what we term first world problems. People from that strata of society that Kaalidhar is from are never expected to want to think about themselves. Because you can only think about yourself and live the life I want to live if you've taken care of your other responsibilities through affluence.
100%.
Right? So be it fulfilling your dreams, sacrificing your dreams, this is just something that's expected of you. That's just something you just have to do. So what I liked is that she's telling the story of somebody who's prompted by a 10-year-old. Right? Somebody who's not experienced life to say, no, live your life, fulfill your dreams. Fulfill your love. Fulfill your aspirations. Do all that you can. You've sacrificed everything for somebody else, and they've not regarded that for you. So now start living your own life. So he takes him on this journey to fulfill, and it's the small things that matter to him. I mean, something like you said, biryani.
Just she coming out and giving
I want to eat biryani. I want to ride a motorcycle. I want to dance at a wedding.
I love that scene towards the end.
You know, so I want to dance at a wedding. All these things. It's just what was so nice was that she so casually wrote and then obviously made us perform and directed us in a way which actually says something very profound, but says it so simply. And it's actually the simple things, be it Kaalidhar's love story, be it Kaalidhar's family story, be it Kaalidhar's aspirations, Kaalidhar's dreams, or his disappointments as well, which he tackles very effortlessly. He doesn't really get into it. Even at the end, there's a scene with his brothers where he comes and says, "You've got what you wanted?
Yeah.
Now thank you, now I'm done." He doesn't make it dramatic. He just tells his baby sister that, "You're my pride and remember, be strong." He tells the brothers, "Thank you very much," because he actually feels, "You've empowered me. By breaking my heart, you've empowered me."
You mentioned about some of the things on KD's list, right? One being, going and learning how to ride. Or,
Yeah.
Abhishek, have you ever thought of lists like that? Of course, it comes from a sense of privilege. It's very different from what
No.
want.
Of course, it's a very valid question, and
but have you thought of a list that you
No, there always are. I mean, most of them have got to do with my acting career and my wants and desires as an actor.
Okay.
It can be from people I want to work with, the kind of films that I would like to make, stuff like that. And you make those lists.
Sure.
So I think everybody does.
Can we hear some of them?
No.
Okay.
I'm superstitious because I say the minute I say it won't happen. The universe will not conspire to help me. Yeah.
We understand and I hope it gets fulfilled. There's another beautiful moment is KD's looking outside the window. Both of them are sitting and he says that...
They play the game.
And then he says, "Mujhe kya dikhta hai? Mujhe, I see a gubbara and I see a pot of biryani and I see my father."
Yeah.
Sometimes the movie also tells you that what do you want to protect, what you don't want to miss in your life, and what you don't want to forget ever.
Right.
Abhishek, what are the few moments in your life that you never want to forget?
There aren't few. I don't want to forget any of it.
Are there any moments like that when you've thought of it? When you're doing a film like this, right? Because he's losing such precious memories.
That's such a wonderful question, because that's one of the things that really stayed with me afterwards. That what do you do when you start losing your memory? What do we have apart from our memories, right?
Yeah.
And how do you quantify a memory? It's just some electricity in your brain, but they're invaluable. And I thought about that, saying, "Oh my gosh, I hope," because I have wonderful memories. I'm not very good at being a pessimist, so those things just kind of get erased. But to hold on to those memories and to create those memories. Don't put a value to that, man. To see. It could be something as basic as seeing your family happy, smiling. That's invaluable. You can't put an amount to that.
Some of your films have been, I think you've been so honest in your performances in the last few of the things that you've done were incredible.
Thank you.